So, you want to start a lawn care business. Well, some of the things to look out for, you guys, when if you're trying to start a lawn care business, because you can really get in trouble quick if you don't do things right. You can you don't necessarily have to have big money equipment. What you need more than anything is the customers. So you need to get a few customers before you go spending any money on anything. Any big money. Before you spend any big money on anything as well, you also might want to consider going through a season without any big boy new equipment or anything, just to make sure it's something that you want to do. I know a lot of guys that go out and they'll buy this package deal from a dealer, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 for a little setup, a little trailer, a little 48-inch mower, a couple, weed eater, edger blower, and they'll be making payments on that. But then they realize, after about the first month, that it's hot out here. And then they realize, oh hell, I gotta be disciplined with my money because people are paying me in checks and cash. And they don't think about that either. Care of business, don't go out and buy new equipment. And if you're a parent, don't buy your kids a rig. Might help them out, to get them started. But if they're not paying for their own equipment, they're never gonna get it. You gotta be the one to pay for it. You gotta be the one to put the blood, sweat, and tears in the business in order and reap the benefits from the business. If your folks buy you a lawnmower, I'm not saying you can't be successful, because you can. But it's a little bit different than someone that builds the business block by block. I built my business block by block, year by year, upgrading every year, more customers every season, blah blah blah, until you get to a point where you just don't have to really worry about chasing customers no more. Another bad thing is when you get started is the heat. The heat is one thing that people that have never worked outside all summer, especially down here in the South, never worked outside all summer. The heat is something that is a big deal. The heat is something that can get used to, and some people can never get used to it. So you want to make sure that you can take the heat. So before you go out and spend $20,000 on equipment, trailer, truck, all that, mowers, I would want to go through a season with just enough equipment to get by. Just enough to make sure that this is something that I can do, this is something that I want to do, that I can handle the heat. And it also will teach you about what piece of equipment that you need to buy. If you go in and don't really know nothing about the lawn care business, and you just go out and buy a lawnmower and you don't really know your customer base because you don't have a customer base yet, then you can make a much more educated decision on equipment, in season number 2, than you could in season 1. So just a few things to watch out for if you're a landscaper or wanting to be a lawn maintenance guy. You got to watch out for equipment. You got to watch, because the equipment that I have, it don't bottom out and go dead. This equipment, it don't scalp and engine shut down. This equipment that I got, it'll dig in the ground and it'll sling some. It'll rip the ground and rock and everything right out. So it's a whole nother ball game when you get onto the big boy equipment. And I probably would have had a real hard time starting out with the kind of equipment that I have now. Because when I started out, I had never even ran a zero-turn mower. So, but all the other guys on YouTube, they tell you the same thing. You know, work with what you got now and get through a season. And if it's something that you see that you're going to like to do, or something the circumstances make you have to keep doing it, then you can upgrade your equipment as you go. You know, look for deals online. I remember one time I traded an Xbox I had for a weed eater, you know, because I needed a weed eater. And I did that. And I thought that was a good trade, you know, for me. I didn't have to spend $400 on a weed eater, and that guy wanted an Xbox 360, so, you know, I traded him. Anyway, y'all, I got to pull up here to the bank and put this money in. I'll catch up with you in a minute.